Welcome back to another episode of Fettcraft. This is Fettcraft at 60 frames per second. I'm probably not gonna even usually mess with 60 frames per second. I just want to try it out and see how horribly big the files get. Oh, look at me, I'm doing things. Anyways, let's get started. It's been a while since I've done a proper recording, and there's been lots of changes. Um, First of all, I've installed Mindfactory Reloaded. Hey guys, how you doing? I've installed Mindfactory Reloaded and Open Blocks, and the you can see we got the conveyors, and down here a grinder. Ooh, ouchie! A grinder doing its grindy thing, and grinding up these blazes into mob essence, which is then immediately being sucked out of these fluid ducts, and their drops are being sucked out into the ME system, which is nice. And now let's see, maybe I can get up here. Yeah. And some of the mob essence, well, all of it right now is going to feed this auto spawner, which has the safari net for wither skeletons in it. And I'm trying mostly to get the necrotic bones from them, but you get wither skull over here and there too. But honestly, the uh, the old graveyard skeleton in general spawner, I mean, it's almost more efficient for getting the witherheads that and using the heads up guy here with the beheading on it. But so yeah, there's two blaze spawners in here. You see one, two that I just went and grabbed out of the nether. Using it's called an auto. What the heck is it? Is it auto? No. Let's spell it right. Uh, what do I want to say? Auto porta spawner, which makes more sense because it's portable and you can move a spawner around. You can pick any spawner you want with one of those porter spawners, and you right click on it, and the spawner is then in the porter spawner, and the next place you right click with the porter spawner, the spawner appears and the porter spawner goes away. So it's a one use item, so you have to make another one each time you want to make one of these. And the recipe is not cheap. It calls for another star, 2 diamonds, golds, and glass. And it's not cheap if you're not on a server like this. So, but it is for me fairly cheap because I'm now getting the wither heads, not a dime a dozen, but like a quarter a dozen, and so they're not that hard to come by. But so yeah, each time this gets some mob essence from over here, it turns on and produces a wither. I'm probably gonna get shot in the face. Yep. Shot in the face. But let's see if we can get close enough to right click on that. See, this, once it gets mob essence, it'll not be idle and do work and produce a skeleton. In fact, you're going to see that happen right now. Yep. And so, and then there's a grinder, of course, down there, and a chest. Both the grinder's hooked up to the same pipe, and the chest is hooked up to the ME system. Alright, so that's that. That's the automatic mob spawner room. Now, the only drawback to this is, yeah, I have to actually be standing here because those things won't work unless I'm standing here, and then that thing won't work unless it's getting mob essence from the grinder from these things, getting ground up and turned into mob essence. This thing you've seen before, just a normal mob elevator, but these things from the graveyard mod, gravestone mod, grave something mod, you can build these, and I built 4 of them, and they produce all kinds of skeletons, meaning these kinds of skeletons, skeleton dogs, skeleton cats, and wither skeletons. So that's kind of neat. We have the deep storage units up here. I have that level emitter, so it will always keep 200. God, these things are a lot. The level emitter makes sure there's always 256 cobble in the ME system, and all the rest of it gets sucked down here. And we have, you see, over 2.5 million cobble in there, plus the stuff that I had turned into. I've one octuple and a few of some of all the rest of these. So I have, you know, a couple million in the ME system too, in the form of compressed cobblestone. These I'll use for the other things that produce quite a bit high numbers, probably eventually, but not yet. Just because the recipe for these things gives you 4, I figured I'd put all 4 down here and hook them up so they're ready to go when I do want to use them for something. The rest of this you've seen. This is just the, you know, the nether portal room. I broke through a little hole when I was putting the cables for the spawners down there. I actually broke through a little far, and I'll come back and fix that up eventually. You've seen the good old smeltery room, and way down to the old branch mines. Woo! That was where it all started. Yep. The enchanting table, a couple anvils, the ore processing, which you've seen before, the room with the flowing water, which will completely protect these from creeper attacks, as it turns out. That thing's full. They're doing good. I got a 1 Megan down there at the bottom. The creeper could blow up the line, but I'm not too concerned about that. But it couldn't blow up the line that's actually powering it on up. I may be able to snag that, but that's 2 blocks up. But either way, the ME cable's not hard to make, and yeah. And this is all doing the ore processing, as you know. We now have elevators in here. I'm going to shut the jetpack off just for a minute. This is a new room I've just started building, where it's basically all the meat and potatoes, all the crud that makes, well, it's mostly for the tesseracts. Mostly for this tesseract. And it's sucking in cobble to go down into that deep storage, and then it's also sucking in the rest of the materials everything that isn't cobble is going into this chest, and this chest is being fed, of course, from that tesseract, which is being fed by the quarries that I have out yonder, and it's also being fed. This chest is being fed from down there from the output of the smeltery. The smelting factory at the end of the chain, the ore processing chain, so we're getting straight ores coming up there, so that's nice. And it's everything that goes into that chest is being sucked out into the ME system, which is, you know, up there on the top floor, which you're going to see shortly, but it's kind of a surprise because it's all different up there. The original house has been replaced with a tower of colorfulness. And these are just the rest of the things that I like to have in case I need to do stuff with them. And just a standalone pulverizer and redstone furnace in case I want to put aluminum, or I want to crush something else, and in case I just want to do something separately with them. This is an aqueous accumulator I just put out because I was running out of space in my inventory at the time, so that's going to be moved. And it will eventually be used to pump water into this guy in case I need to make mossy cobble. But I don't think that's ever going to be a requirement, so I may just, you know, put those in a chest or something until I need them. And then, of course, this thing's also sucking in brine from the salination plant in the desert and pumping it through that thing, and that goes into the whole what you saw down below, which is processing the ore. I'm not going to get into that. And this is the thing that is dealing with lava. It's my lava guy, so I'm trying to pave the nether, and all the lava that the endothermic pump sucks up, it puts into here. It's then put into the ME system. The ME system then sucks it out and puts it into that, well, you've seen this before, but I'll show it to you while I'm here. Might as well get everything out of the way all in one episode, because this is going to be kind of the recap episode. So yeah, the ME system sucks the lava, or this thing sucks the lava out of the ME system that tesseract was putting into it, and puts it into the void. So, and this has just a tank full of lots of lava that I had fun building, but didn't really actually need, as it turns out. Alright, so that's everything down here. This has access to where we're doing our high-tech farming and all of our Mine Factory Reloaded machines. I'll show you the bottom. This is a tank full of sewage, which is, ooh, those need to be hooked up, don't they? They're doing absolutely nothing. At any rate, they have sewage in them, and they have some mob essence in them too. But most of these are sucking sewage out from the cows you can hear up there doing their cow-like thing, and they're going into these composters, and the composters are making fertilizer, which goes into fertilizers up here, which I'll show you in a second. I can get out this way, but we're going to do the big reveal by just going into the main base, like so. Now, the old base is completely gone. This is right where everything was. In fact, this thing is exactly in the same spot still as it was when the old base was here. And you can see roughly, there's going to be glass in these eventually. I just haven't figured out what I want to do, whether I want a stained glass thing or a clear glass thing or some kind of pattern, or I don't know. I'm not creative like that, so it takes me a long time to figure out what I want to do with those kind of things. But let's just step back. See, Julie's building a roller coaster over there. And look at the Rainbow Tower. There it is. It has platforms for shh, shh, making a video. Hey, shh, shh, shh. Alright. So, yeah, they have platforms for jetpack landing, and the wind turbines are up there on that platform. We'll see all that in just a minute. I've built some in-town roads, nice straight, narrow roads, not narrow, but straight roads, and they get a little bit rougher as you go out towards Jen's place, which is way over there. So, first let's see the quote-unquote farm. These two things, this thing with the little flashing green light with the pipes that go down to the composter thing, are receiving fertilizer. They have, this one's full of fertilizer because I currently have this harvester. This is the harvester shut off. This thing harvests the plants in a 3x3 area in front of it. You can make it bigger by using upgrades. Bam, there, you build an upgrade and you put it in there, and you can make this area bigger. Not necessary as far as I can tell, because these things run so fast and so efficiently. I mean, I got like over 10,000 carrots in a very short period of time on just this little 9 pieces of land. I have the wheat still going over here because the wheat is feeding something that's making this whole shebang work. And I'll tell you what this whole shebang is here in a minute. At any rate, this is using the compost, which is turned into fertilizer, industrial fertilizer, and it fertilizes the crops. As you see, they're growing quite fast because of this little fertilizer. And as soon as they get fully grown, the harvester harvests them, what a harvester seems like would do, and it puts it down into a chest system down there, which is then in turn some of it put into the ME system and some of it pulled out. As you can see there, there's some wheat, and the wheat goes into that thing over there. I'll get to that in a second. Right directly under each one of these 3x3s is 1 block below this is a planter, another Mine Factory loaded device, and it's getting the seeds from this whole harvesting process and the chests and pipes that I have below this. It sucks in the seeds and automatically plants a 3x3 area, directly above it, and it has to be in the middle of that area. I'm probably going to use this for potatoes right here, and so I'll put another fertilizer there and a harvester like here or here. This pipe that I have running out of each harvester is going to a nullifier, and it's nullifying sludge. You can see on there, it's kind of a brown look every once in a while. You can't really see it, but I assure you that in there is something called sludge, or I think it's called sludge. It's something that you would normally have to dispose of in some other way, and I was just clever and decided, hey, how about I just dispose of it in the void? And so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the sludge. These things produce sludge, which is a thing that you can't use in any other way that I can tell. I may be wrong about that, And when they fill up, the whole process stops working. So I just have that stuff siphoned out and thrown into the void for now. And now this process. Let's take a look here. Let's actually stop jumping like an idiot and turn the jetpack on. Right here is a breeder. And in the breeder, it's taking the wheat that's being produced over in this farm over here, and then sucked out through tubes to this thing. It spits the wheat basically out at these cows and breeds them. And if I wait here long enough, you'd see little hearts over them, and you can even see the experience from when they've had babies. And you think, well, there you go. They just bred. But it's getting wheat so fast it'll fill right back up, see? So they bred, but no babies over there. Babies all seem to be over here. Well, how is that possible? This is not a perfect setup yet. I just fly in and out through the holes in the glass. You saw those big cows die. We'll get to that in a second. That's the grinder that's doing that. But over here, we have a chronotyper, and you have it set to just moving babies. I don't want to click that, because as soon as I click that, it would start. The other option is to move adults, and it would start moving adults, and I don't want all the adults to be sucked out of there over here and then killed by the grinder. Those are the breeding adults. They have to stay there, and they get bred by the wheat in this thingy, the breeder, and then the babies are sucked out using this chronotyper over here. The grinder does not chew up the babies. It waits until they're fully grown. As soon as you get a full-grown cow, the babies are then ground up, and I get the normal drop. Well, the adults are ground up, and I get beef, raw beef, and leather, which goes into that chest and is then immediately put into the ME system. But I also get something called mob essence, which Mind Factory Reloaded is used to run some other kinds of machines. And you can actually use a straw. I don't have one. There's a straw. You could take some buckets of this and put it in the world and use a straw to drink it, and you would actually get experience that way. But that's not exactly what I'm doing with it. And this thing up here is called the veterinary station, and you can put growth syringes. I don't have any made right now, but I'll probably show you that maybe in another episode now that I've explained how this works. You put growth syringes in there, and this thing spits out the growth syringes basically, and automatically grows the babies, like instantaneously grow. Watch that adult. That adult's going to be ground up here shortly. Bam! The grinder just ground it up and put some mob essence. Actually, I don't know what it's doing with the mob essence at this point because it's full. What that means, I need to make more of these open block tanks here and here, because this is the XP tank and it's full. But don't worry about it being full right now. Let me show you what's going on down below here. This is a redstone clock. That's what's making all the ticking happen. Okay, so we have, if you look up there, that was where the grinder is, and there's a pipe from the grinder that goes right into these tanks, and it's filling up these tanks with mob essence, right? The mob essence goes into these auto enchanters, which is also from Mind Factory Reloaded, and they're set to level 30. I could change the level, but I want it the maximum. They're not doing anything right now because I don't have any glass bottles. I need to put glass bottles into this slot, or you could put a book, or anything that you can enchant could be put in here, and it would be enchanted to level 30 using mob essence. But if you put a bottle, an empty glass bottle in here, it gets a level 30 bottle of enchanting bottle. So you get that, and then these pipes suck it out into a dispenser, and this clock that's ticking away causes the dispenser, as soon as it gets a bottle of enchanting, to spit it out, and it breaks right in front of this thing, which is a vacuum hopper. And this vacuum hopper is set to take in XP. It could be set for items, but right now it's set to take in XP. And so the bottle of enchanting breaks here, and it sucks up all the XP orbs that's created by the bottle of enchanting, and then squeezes them into these tanks, which is liquid XP. And liquid XP, instead of drinking with a straw, you can put like a little shower on a tank of it. Hit the switch, and see, I'm getting the experience. Just like that. And if I don't need all that experience, you can go stand on the drain, and it sucks it out. It won't suck it all out because these tanks are full. But if I put some more empty tanks on here, which I may do here in a little bit, it would, you know, continue to suck it out as long as there's room in the tanks. So that's basically what this does. These chests are so I can feed the growth syringes into the veterinary clinic, and then you get empty syringes out as a process and put those back into the ME system. So I can use the same like 10 or 20 syringes that I have to keep the cycle going, and it just keeps. I use the automatic automatic assembler thing in the basement down there to continually make the growth syringes, and just it goes through this cycle from, you know, out of the ME system through this thing and then back into the ME system. And then I've kept, you know, some melons going over here. Probably won't really need those, and the netherwort going. I don't know if this whole scenario with the greenhouse is going to stay. It's kind of redundant now. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I really just wanted to get this all set up and working just to see what it was going to be like, and I have. And yeah, I'm going to actually go upstairs here real quick, sleep for a minute, and then take one more fly around the place here. See what it all looks like. This is what it looks like from, like I said, I don't have glass or something in most of this space here. Let's go up to the top and then elevator back down. I had to put a magma torch in there because as we get higher, the magma torches only work 32 blocks up and down. They work 128 in either of the cardinal, you know, horizontal directions, but in the vertical direction it's only 32, I believe. So I put another one up here to make sure no mobs spawn at all, regardless of the torches. So there's the turbines that are literally powering everything that I have, and they work great. You don't have to feed them, you don't have to worry about them, you just put them there and leave them alone. So, shift to go down, Bob. And that's the paint can for the color coordination on each level. So I can come back and paint. I don't know what I'm going to put here. I don't know what I'm going to put here. Probably the library here, or maybe I'll incorporate the library in here. I'm going to have bookshelves that have all the enchanted books in them, and the anvil, so you can do enchanting, and a couple anvils. I might do that on the next floor above, or move the brewing up there. I don't know. I don't know yet. This is going to be the energy station. I'll probably put some more energy cubes in there so we can come up here and charge. So yellow felt powery to me, so I decided to put that. Orange is sleepy time area, and I may show some other things in here too, but we'll always have, you know, beds here to sleep if we all happen to find ourselves around here and we don't have a bed and we can sleep quick. It's yes. And this is the main base area. I'll probably remove some of these things and put them in else places. That made sense. These are from Open Blocks. You get them every once in a while. A mob drops them every once in a while. If I found out just the other day, if you right click on them, they do things. That one shoots an arrow and makes a little skeleton sound. This one just makes zombie sounds. So each time you right click on them, they do that. It's pretty cool. And so yeah, I need to figure out what to do with the glass situation. I don't know if I like this, or I'm going to use maybe micro blocks to make this look a little bit, this column and that goes all the way up the middle look thinner, take up less space. Right now it looks like a big honking elevator shaft, and I don't really need that. But yeah, we'll figure out. Everything else here in this general area is pretty much the same. I did add these little bush arches coming in on the road, and these bushes, and I mealed some of the grass around here, around the egg display. Julie put a little parkour in over here. Cool. And a roller coaster is being constructed in this area. I like to see this go all the way around the mountains and then like come back around that way. That'd be pretty cool. And then Jen's place is that way, but we're already getting a little long in this video, so we'll probably cover that in another video. This was just hey, we're back and we're going to start doing more videos, and don't get used to the 60 frames per second, because I feel like this video is going to be like a 2 GB file and I don't need that in my life. I'm not trying to win any awards on video quality. I just want to have fun playing with the fam and recording it and seeing if anybody else thinks it's interesting too. So on that note, we will say goodbye for this episode and say goodbye to the Rainbow Tower. Bye, Rainbow Tower. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.